Today you'll be trained on the proper use of the LifeSafer Ignition Interlock. You will also receive a client handbook which serves as a day-to-day guide for your program. More people choose LifeSafer Ignition Interlocks because they're easy to use, reliable, and are supported by a dependable and knowledgeable service network. Your participation in this program will be held in the strictest confidence, and your service provider will do everything possible to support and assist you in successfully completing the program. What does the device look like? The device consists of a relay module which fits under the dash and is wired into your vehicle's ignition system, a compact handset mounted to your dash. The handset connects to the relay module via a coiled cord attached to the bottom of the case. The handset uses a mix of screen graphics and audible tones to communicate information, such as breath test results and other messages relating to the testing process. How does it work? The device draws a small portion of your breath sample into a fuel cell sensor. The presence of alcohol in the sensor chamber causes the fuel cell to output an increased electrical current, which is measured and then translated into an equivalent blood alcohol concentration. If the result of your test is below the preset trigger point, an encrypted signal is sent to the relay, allowing your vehicle to be started. If the test result is too high, then the vehicle's ignition system will remain locked. Will it affect the operation of my vehicle? Prior to installation, a qualified technician will inspect both the mechanical and electrical systems of your vehicle to ensure it is capable of supporting the interlock device. Once installed, the device will not interfere with the normal operation of your vehicle. The device regularly monitors and records the vehicle's battery voltage and cranking power. If the battery voltage is low, the screen will display a low battery message. The device only prevents a vehicle from starting. It will never shut down a running vehicle. Powering up the device. The device can be powered up when the engine is on or off. You can either place the key in the ignition and turn it to on, or press and hold the up or down button for a couple of seconds. The first screen you'll see is the LifeSafer welcome screen, immediately followed by the alcohol test message screen. When you're ready to take your test, press the up or down button positioned directly below the screen. A warm-up screen will appear along with the image of a clock face, counting down the time until the device is ready for you to blow. Taking a test. To successfully take a test, you must blow into the mouthpiece long enough with sufficient pressure while generating a tone created by making the sound do while blowing. Before you leave today, your service provider will show you the proper technique for taking a test, and you will be given the opportunity to take as many tests as you require to ensure you're comfortable with what you need to do. Let's take a look at the next step in the test process. Remove the device from the dash. Place a clean and dry mouthpiece in the area directly above the screen. When you have completed the first few steps of powering the device and selecting to take an alcohol test, you will be presented with the blow 5-second screen. Start blowing steadily while making the do sound. Once you are blowing correctly, the device will make a continuous tone. At the end of 5 seconds, the tone will automatically stop and you will be presented with a wait screen while your breath is being analyzed. If you have successfully completed the test, you'll receive a screen message saying pass. This will be immediately followed by a screen instructing you to start engine now. Abort test. If you haven't blown properly or hummed correctly, you'll hear a unique tone and will be presented with a screen saying abort test along with a brief description of why. For example, blow shorter, blow harder, blow softer. If you abort more than 5 times, you will be presented with screen tips on how to successfully complete your test. An abort does not mean you have failed your test. It just means that you will need to take it again. In between each test attempt, you will see a clock face counting down the seconds to when you can retake your test. This is typically 45 seconds. Before retaking your test, you should check that your mouthpiece is clean and dry. The mouthpiece is designed to keep moisture and saliva from going into the device, which can cause an abort. Your service provider will provide you with an ample supply of extra mouthpieces. Alcohol warning. If you're presented with an alcohol warning screen, this could be the result of you eating something with a low alcohol content that is still present in your mouth. If this is the case, you should rinse your mouth with water and retake the test by following the steps we covered earlier. An alcohol warning does not mean you failed the test. It just means that the device has detected the presence of a low level of alcohol in your breath. Failed test. The devices are typically set to fail at well below the legal limit, often as low as 0.020%. Some participants on the Interlock program are subject to zero tolerance and must abstain completely from the consumption of alcohol. If you are one of those participants, you are strongly advised to take all necessary precautions prior to testing to avoid a fail reading, as any fail is automatically reported. If you fail a test, you will not be able to start your engine, and the device will go into a wait period or temporary lockout. Wait and lockout periods are determined by state or province regulations or by court order and can range from 5 minutes to 24 hours. If you don't already know your predetermined wait or lockout period, ask your service provider before you leave today. If this happens, you will be presented with a screen message that will include information about the time and date the wait or temporary lockout will end. Running retest. Once you have passed your test and are driving your vehicle, you will be required to take a number of retests. Typically, your first retest will be shortly after the vehicle is started and at random intervals thereafter. The retest notification screen displays one word, blow, so it's easy and safe to read while driving. In addition, a loud beep will alert you that a retest is required. If the retest is not taken when prompted, or if it has failed one or more times while the engine is still running, a violation will be recorded and the horn will sound until the engine is shut off. You will typically have 5 to 6 minutes to pass the retest or shut the vehicle off before further sanctions are imposed. Once again, the device cannot and will not shut your vehicle off. Engine stall protect. If, outside testing times, your vehicle stalls in traffic or for any other reason, you will be presented with an engine stall protect screen. You will have a few minutes to restart your car without taking a test. Caution: always exercise safety first. The device is designed to allow you to continue driving and safely retest without taking your eyes off the road. However, if you are uncomfortable, it is recommended that you pull off the road and come to a complete stop before taking the retest. If you fail to pass the retest or shut the vehicle off in the time allotted, your vehicle's horn will sound. A violation will also be recorded, and the device may go into temporary lockout. Morning after and mouth alcohol fail tests. The best way to avoid blowing a low-level fail the morning after is to not drink any alcohol. A few beers the night before could easily result in a low-level fail test in the morning. And if your program requires abstention from alcohol, you'll want to make sure you blow a clean pass test. Avoid eating, drinking, or using mouthwash or medicines that contain alcohol immediately prior to testing. Fruit-based drinks and ripening fruit ferment can produce trace amounts of alcohol. Even activated yeast in hot pizza dough or baked goods produces alcohol. It only takes molecules of alcohol in the mouth to set off the device. Alcohol evaporates very quickly, so if you get alcohol warning, rinse your mouth out with water, take a few deep breaths of fresh air, and retest after waiting a few minutes. Scheduled program checks. Periodically, you'll be required to have the device's data downloaded, reviewed, and reported by the service provider to one or more authorities. The device, vehicle, and wiring may be inspected for signs of tampering, and the calibration of the device's accuracy will be checked. The device will remind you of your scheduled service by displaying a service reminder screen that includes the date and time of your next service. If you miss your scheduled service date, the device will alert you by displaying a lockout starts screen along with the date and time of when that will happen. Permanent lockout. If you do not have the device's data downloaded and reset by the service provider, the device will go into permanent lockout, and the device will not ask for a test nor allow the vehicle to be started. In addition, failure to make a scheduled service will be reported by the service provider to the appropriate authorities. Violations. The device monitors all of your activities when using the vehicle. It records the results of every test or attempted test, when the vehicle is started, and when it is stopped. It records attempts to physically tamper with the device, circumvent having to pass a test, retest, or attempts to disconnect the device. Early recall. If any violations are recorded by the device, the lockout starts screen will be displayed, and you will need to return to your service provider to have the data downloaded, interpreted, and reported. The device also monitors its own functionality in accordance with fail-safe technical requirements. Any type of malfunction or failure that could affect the reliability or accuracy of the device's test results will put the device into early recall. Again, if this does happen, the lockout starts screen will be displayed, indicating that you must return to the service center. Cold weather starts. To avoid any warm-up delay by presetting the device with 3 20-minute periods within 24 hours. This will automatically power up your device to be ready for a test when you get into your vehicle. See your client handbook for detailed instructions on how to do this. In conclusion, your service provider is here to help you successfully complete your program by providing proper training and ongoing support. Your positive participation in the program will get you back on the road quickly and safely. The client handbook that you'll receive today contains all the information in this video, as well as troubleshooting tips and other important information. We recommend keeping this handbook in your vehicle's glove compartment so you have easy access to it anytime you are taking a test. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. All of us at LifeSafer wish you success with your program and are committed to providing you with the necessary support and help throughout the process.